I'm Kate. Let's talk theater. Today we are going to be talking about two Hallmark Christmas movies that came out this year that star Broadway stars. So we are talking about A Keller Christmas Vacation and The Snow Must Go On. A Keller Christmas Vacation stars Jonathan Bennett, and The Snow Must Go On stars Cott. These were movies that were pretty good. Now remember, these are Hallmark Christmas movies. Christmas movies are on their own scale of movie. And I don't have high standards, but I cannot sit through the average Christmas movie. I find that they all bleed together. They're all kind of about the same thing, and I don't find them very exciting. And so I will not just watch any Christmas movie. I search for the ones that intrigue me, and casting is a huge part of it. I think it really does make a big difference if you are a fan of someone in the movie, and I find that it just so happens that when a Broadway star does one of these, they feel a little different. It feels like there is a reason that they are kind of going out of the box with their casting, because Hallmark does tend to cast a lot of the same people over and over again, and then you'll find that like the Broadway stars get like a movie or two, right? Like Cott's done like 2 or 3, I think. Jonathan Bennett kind of started as a Hallmark star, but like kind of like a C star, like not in a ton of them like some of them are. Then he went on to do Spamalot, and now he's kind of looped back, and now he has like a little bit more of a career. His first movie, not his first movie, but he led the first Hallmark movie that had a gay couple as the lead, and it was exclusively about them. They had a couple movies where it was like the ensemble, like A Christmas House, but The Holiday Sitter was a movie that came out, and it was a big deal. It was a big deal to have a Christmas movie led by two gay men. There's still barely not a lot out there. There still are not a ton, and so he was on Out magazine. Like, it was a big deal. So he's sort of like this in between where it's like he's a little bit of a Hallmark star, but he's also done Broadway, and his career has grown a lot since he started just kind of dabbling in the Hallmark movies as maybe like a mostly like the friend, but once in a while he had led one. So mini reviews. It's a Christmas movie, so there's not a lot to review, but I'm gonna tell you to trust me that these are good movies. So the first one is A Keller Christmas Vacation. It stars Jonathan Bennett. It also stars Brandon Routh and Eden Scher. So also actors that you are probably going to know from other things. Brandon Routh's dabbled in a couple Hallmark movies. He did The 9 Lives of Christmas, which is a pretty decent one. But he also, of course, was in, CW shows. He was Superman back in the day. He has been around. He's got a name for himself. Eden Scher, of course, is from the middle. So it's a really good cast, and I love this movie because it's a family movie. A lot of Hallmark movies are about like two randos hanging out the entire Christmas season, even though, the girl came back to her hometown to hang out with her dad, and then somehow she hangs out with, her middle school boyfriend the entire week that she's there. And it's always very strange because these movies are supposed to be like talking about the spirit of Christmas and how important togetherness is, and then they never see their actual families. So to see a movie where ultimately the family comes first was very refreshing. There's a little bit of drama, a little bit of upset in this movie, kind of underneath. The family has to come together, and I really appreciated that. I think a lot of these movies tend not to really have any stakes. I think a feel-good movie can still have negative things happen, and it's the perseverance. That's what makes it heartwarming to me. Definitely sometimes TV Christmas movies, especially if you're going outside of Hallmark and you're looking at maybe Up or Great American Family, which we do not want to look at, you may run into sort of, in order to be heartwarming, I feel like they want to stay pleasant, but I think you can do both. And so I appreciated that there was a little bit of depth, and ultimately, again, about these siblings and their relationship. And of course, Jonathan Bennett has a man in his life, and the siblings they're on a cruise, they're on a family cruise, so they're gonna meet people, but it's not it's not the point of the movie. And so I think that's pretty great. And it's actually very funny. It's very cheesy. It's funny in a cheesy way, but it's pretty funny, and Jonathan Bennett really shines in it. He's starting to get to this point where he plays this sort of out there dorky character in each movie, and it's very refreshing because it's a very different vibe from what we get to see in this genre. With The Snow Must Go On, Corey Cott fans assemble. Newsies fans assemble, because he's doing the thing. He's doing the thing. This movie literally features a Jack Kelly shot for just like a fake musical that he did. Corey Cott plays a Broadway star who's having some trouble, and so he goes back to his hometown and ends up helping with the Christmas pageant musical, meets a cute guidance counselor. So at its core, it is the same movie as every other movie, but it's Corey Cott. His character's on Broadway, so he does get to sing a couple times. They go absolutely ham on this show that he wrote, like this one-man show that he wrote for himself. He definitely hits the Santa Fe note. Like, I'm 90% sure he hits the Santa Fe note at the end of his Christmas one-man show song. And we get to see like another clip where he sings another song, and he sounds incredible. He sounds incredible. I have not seen old Corey Cott since The Heart of Rock and Roll was on Broadway for 5 seconds. And so I am happy to see him do a movie that was pretty enjoyable. He's done a couple Hallmark movies that are too Hallmarky, too run-of-the-mill. So to see one that, again, it's ultimately in the box as all of the movies are, but there's that little extra bit going on. They definitely just, again, feel a little more silly, and I appreciate when these movies can get silly, because they should be. Again, I think a lot of them kind of walk this line where they kind of end up being a little bit about nothing, and so to see another movie where it's really about something is a really good time. And this one, there's a little bit of family, because he's doing the school pageant. You're gonna see some kids. It definitely feels like you're watching, like, the C plot is just like a cringy episode of Glee, which is hilarious. The writers definitely knew the theater kids. The writers are theater producers, actually, and so they know what they're talking about. So very, very, very funny stuff. Silly. Again, we're on the spectrum of other TV Christmas movies. I would definitely put this up there. It's a movie, both these movies, A Keller Christmas Vacation and The Snow Must Go On, are movies that I would watch again if they were on at some point. Again, A Keller Christmas Vacation, I appreciate that, again, this is a family vacation that they are ultimately going on. I should mention that it's a cruise to Vienna, Vienna. I'm not going to act like I remember the cities they go to. Austria and Germany. We'll just leave it at that. So they are on location, so you get to see a little bit of that too. The Snow Must Go On pretends they're in New York for half of it. They're clearly not, but that's okay. So these are both pretty decent movies. I definitely recommend them, right? To get to see a Broadway star in your living room, that's peak. That's peak. So if you saw Keller Christmas or The Snow Must Go On, or you go to watch it after watching this video, let me know what you thought. I think A Keller Christmas Vacation and The Snow Must Go On are pretty good, and they go just enough against type to feel like they are a little more worth your while. If you're like me and can only watch so many Christmas movies a season, I would definitely put these on the top of the list, and there are plenty of other Christmas Hallmark movies starring Broadway stars that they've made these past few years. It seems like post-COVID, the Broadway stars sort of started popping up. Jeremy Jordan's done some. Kristen Chenoweth did one. Peter Gallagher. I mean, the list goes on. I do have a video about that that I'll put somewhere. And so yeah, let me know your thoughts below. Like, comment, share, do the YouTube things. Find me on TikTok at TheaterKates as well if you want some short form content from me. I really appreciate your time today. I hope this helps you get into a little bit of a Broadway Christmas spirit. And I will see you next time to talk more theater. Bye.